Hello everyone, my name is Willie the Bam Johnson, and this is an intro to Point MMA Crazy Athletics. Point MMA is basically a new expression of freestyle sparring. We have taken what we used to do in the dojo back in the day when you were sparring in the dojo, when first people started implementing safety equipment in the 70s and in the 80s and the 90s, and we didn't even wear headgear that much. But the sparring was more about freestyle sparring. I mean, you were able to throw techniques and stop them an inch before making tremendous contact because people had good technique. And if you didn't have good technique while you was in that dojo sparring around, eventually by getting hit a couple of times and the instructor say, put your arms up, you won't get hit in the ribs again, you learn how to keep that defense up and learn how to execute good techniques to keep people away. And what we realized that when you look at sports competitions today, and you look at sparring as a whole in the industry, things have just been watered down, and they just lost the authenticity of what sparring is supposed to really do for a student. And by being in a business element as well as the competition level, I have seen those things firsthand. So also by being a Kung Fu stylist, doing freestyle sparring and winning and competing in some of the biggest tournaments, be it point fighting tournaments, be it full contact tournaments, even doing some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, I wanted to find a happy medium that we could put together where we can really focus on the development of techniques mainly for our children. And that's where I want to really focus at right there. How can we really get them well equipped and get good techniques, learn the proper fighting stances, proper punches, proper kicks, and etc. so they can really become confident from the inside out. So Point MMA Crazy Athletics, Are You Technically Ready? Is the next evolution of martial arts. It's for our next generation. It's to really fill that hole in the gap where those things are missing. We talk about proper techniques. We talk about all those things. So when we also held a competition a while back at one of our first tournaments, I wanted to see how would a point fighter, a grappler, a full contact fighter, a jiu-jitsu person, how would they all pair up against one another? And we based it all on everybody's point system. I mean, you can submit, but it was all based in a controlled manner. We still got footage. You can go to our Point MMA TV YouTube channel, and you can get a chance to see this actual tournament. But it was incredible. No one got hurt, and it all came down to the athlete that was a little bit more well-equipped. Of course, Master Louis Irvin's student had ended up winning with a submission at the end, but it was a great experience for me to say, man, I told you it all works. It's not the style that's better, it's the individual. So Point MMA prepares our kids to be able to go from the ground up to stand up, blend it together, make it rhythmically go and adapt. And it's about no tap out, no knockout. I'm not talking about any, I just don't think that a kid should have that sort of, those tools. I mean, most people might disagree with me, but the lifestyle that I come from, if somebody would have taught me how to choke somebody out or break an arm, every fight I got in back in the day, I'd have been breaking arms and choking people out. So until a kid gets mature, I try to work along and develop a system where the system can grow with their maturity. Even though we do teach those techniques, and we teach them in a fun manner in our self-defense component in Point MMA. We can submit you if you have to. If you're a good technician, you can knock a person out. But if you got good control and good character, why do that? So that's what we're talking about. You don't have to do that. The warrior, the kid that can throw a perfect side kick, they'll execute a good reverse punch. And then the beautiful thing about Point MMA, 2 minutes of fighting, and then when you're doing the crazy athletics, the 10-minute mad, I mean, if you get fatigued, most people, when they get fatigued, their technique's gone. They get mad, they get upset, they can't control themselves. What we want to see, there's a saying where it says, fatigue make cowards of us all. I want to see you become a warrior when you feel like you're ready to quit. I want to see you be able to function and be technically correct through those things. So that's what Point MMA is trying to develop. It's trying to develop that real martial artist, that artist. We're not just talking about fighting. When the kids begin to really get equipped with this, it becomes the art of fighting without fighting. So it's not about the knockout. It's not about the tap out. It's not about a loss of control. It's about good technique. We want to see what the jab is. We want to see what a reverse punch is. And I guarantee you that when you begin to teach this sort of program to your children, you're going to see a 360-degree turnaround. I done seen kids come into our school, even my own kids, that never had the courage to fight, never wanted to fight, but when you show them these techniques and put them under that sort of pressure that Point MMA allows them to do through the fitness components, you look around a couple of years later, these kids are like, whoa, is that the same kid? How did this happen? I know it works because I was that kid. I was that kid that didn't want to fight back. I was that kid that would not fight back. And I had to go through all those beat downs and all those bruises, but I don't want to bring that to another generation. Who, even back then, even though we were free sparring, we was working, still some of that training was abusive. As a parent, why am I going to take my kid through that abusive element of training? Or as a teacher, why would I do that? How can I find a controlled manner where I can still bring them to that level of technical execution, mental toughness, heart, spirit, character, without dealing with that abusive element that goes along with sparring? And that only happens because nobody never had a sparring curriculum. So Point MMA is the first system that has a structured sparring curriculum based on all the elements of American-type sparring. I'm saying everything that they came through the American soul to be able to help people grow. Everything that touched foot in the American competition circuit to allow people to be able to develop their own style, we put in there the Kung Fu element, the Jiu-Jitsu element, the grappling element, the Karate element, the Taekwondo element, you know, the Filipino stick fighting element. We put it all in there, a blend together to truly develop a mixed martial artist. And a mixed martial artist that, one, this complements their system that they already studied. So if you guys do your Taekwondo school, we want to enhance that school. We want to take away. We don't want you to turn it into a mixed martial arts school. No, we want you to become an expression of that component of mixed martial arts. If you are a Jiu-Jitsu school, here's an opportunity to learn these beautiful techniques. And we know it works because now look at UFC. At one time when people said spin kicks, jump reverse punches, side kicks, wheel kicks, cartwheel kicks, that all comes from sports karate. So when we said those things didn't work, we see that they do work. But this all been a part of what we do. So I don't want to throw it away. Let's put it together. Let's teach it to our kids. And let's develop a new generation of martial arts, that next generation of leaders that are a little bit more equipped, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and technical, skill-wise, than what we see and have seen in the past. That's what Point MMA is all about. It's about you teaching and learning. You don't have to be a black belt to start teaching this. You can learn through teaching. That's what the whole purpose of teaching is anyway. You can learn this. We all have learned martial arts, but it wasn't until you got to start teaching that it's like, whoa, I know nothing. Because for every different person, you had to adjust that teaching style to bring that person, you know, personality out, to make them feel confident, to make them believe in themselves. So you already doing that. So Point MMA is there to bring out even more. It's the art of teaching while learning. You can do this. Anybody can do this. And if you got a group of young teenagers, because we all in a school, when they become teenagers, that's when they want to drop out. But what about if you found something that everybody's wanting to do? The MMA component, the fitness component that resembles the CrossFit, the Spartan. What about if you took them and you allowed them to become the coaches of that element of the school? But what about if you even mixed it into your current sparring curriculum? What about if you made it a theme of the week? You can do so much with it, but it's here to enhance us. It's here to allow us to evolve and grow. And don't throw away the old, because I just told you, the old is now coming in the UFC. You see it happening. It's a blending of those two worlds that makes us a complete martial artist. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to abandon our style and jump from style to style. We want to enhance our style. And that's what my instructor told me a long time ago. It's right there in your system. Take some time to study it, and you're going to see how it's already similar and universally connected to everything that's out there. Bruce Lee told us that. As Dana White, many people say, the father of mixed martial arts is who? Bruce Lee. Where did Bruce Lee Foundation come from? Kung Fu. I'm not saying it's a better system, but he realized that it was about evolving, and that's what Point MMA is doing. It's allowing us to evolve and be able to constantly adapt and meet the times. If you are a teacher that's teaching Point MMA and running a Point MMA school, guess what? You should be able to take your kids and let them do point fighting. Because now Point MMA should make them a better point fighter. If you take out the stand-up and let them just do grappling, guess what it should do? It should make them a better grappler. And as they get older, guess what? When it's time to use it in self-defense, it's already there. Everything we need is right there in that system. You don't have to go out there and make up your own. You don't have to go out there and think that you got to go somewhere else and throw your black belt away. You can take this and let it enhance you, and I guarantee not just going to make you a better martial artist, Not is it just going to help your students, but it's going to allow your school to profit. It's going to allow your school to grow. It's going to allow you to help with your retention. It's going to allow you to help with your new recruitment. It's going to allow you to be able to advertise for what people are looking for. Be it the mixed martial arts, be it the athletic training of CrossFit and Spartan. You can now promote with those components, and now martial arts can really grow and be a part of those components. So that's very important for all of us to be able to do, because we know that martial arts has always been one of the ultimate levels of conditioning for all of us. But when we watered down certain things got lost. Here's the answer. Think about this. You can go to a community center and set up a program, a point MMA program, and never take away from your traditional program. I would not teach Kung Fu and that's my base. I would not teach Kung Fu at a recreation center. I would not teach it at a gym, because I'm not going to lose the authenticity. I'm not going to try to license my Kung Fu to you. That's my traditional encyclopedia. That's my heart and my soul. But at the same time, how can I still evolve with what people want? Point MMA. And then when they come in, eventually, guess what happens? It makes them want more, and then what they end up doing? They end up going into your traditional martial arts program. You can take the fitness component, and you can just go into communities and teach that without doing a point MMA. It don't even have to just be about hitting somebody. It can be pad work. It can be all these different apparatuses that we have right here that allows you to put together a good class. It doesn't just have to be a storefront, brick mortar building. It can be in a yard. It can be in your backyard. It can be in a community center. It can be inside a school. There's so many opportunities, but this is what our industry needs. This is what we need to be able to grow and allow people to learn how to appreciate the true meaning of martial arts without selling out and losing the integrity of what martial arts is really all about. The art of fighting without fighting. And are we technically ready? Most of us not. But Point MMA, I guarantee you, it will not just make you technically good with Point MMA, but it's going to transform all those other things that you do in your system, because now we become conscious of technique. The intro to Point MMA. One of the first things we get the students to do is work on cross-legged meditation. That's how every class should start. In our school, 5 minutes before every class, we want everybody to come in and sit down, cross those legs, and get ready to clear that mind. Get open, allow yourself to have a clear mind. We know it's meditations, the lessons in mindfulness, just trying to clear that mind, work on our breathing. For adults, we try to really get into that deep understanding of what meditation is all about. But for the children, we just talk about stop thinking. Don't think about anything. You know, and if they can't do that, we say count your breaths. You know, 1, 2, 3, quietly. And then we can talk to them about, if you want to win, they got a tournament coming up. Think about you seeing yourself walk on the stage and winning the trophy. You got to see it just like a movie screen. So we relate it to the children, but the meditation allows everything to slow down. It allows to get back to the core, that true traditional element of what martial arts is all about. Because in the beginning, it might not be that important, but if we stay around it, and all of us know, if you've been in martial arts for as long as I have, when you get older and you start, the body's not working like it used to work, and you start really trying to find a way to develop a certain level of wealth inside your life, from the inside out, you realize that the internal arts are the most complete arts. Those are the things that really complete our system. So that's what the meditation allows us to represent. And we're probably the only ones out there right now that are including meditation along with the external sporting aspect of martial arts, and especially for our children. Okay? So we start with the meditation. Then after the meditation, we bring everybody to Ibet. Now in your school, whatever you might call it, it's just a ready stance. We want everybody to snap and be ready.